So your agent can speak naturally and you can measure its performance. Now it's time to give it capabilities beyond conversation. Tools let your agent call external APIs, look up data, and take actions on behalf of users. And without tools, your agent can only respond based on what's in its training data and conversation context, and that's pretty limiting. Tools let you fetch real-time information like weather, stock prices, or order status. They let you take actions in external systems like creating tickets, sending emails, or updating records. You can access your private data from customer databases or internal docs. And you can trigger UI updates on the front end via RPC. Tools turn your agent from a chatbot into something that can actually get things done. So LiveKit uses the function tool decorator to expose Python functions to the LLM. The LLM decides when to call them based on the conversation context. So let's add a weather lookup tool. This example uses the Open-Meteo API, which is free and doesn't require an API key. Okay, first thing at the top, let's import HTTPX so that we can make HTTP requests. And let's not forget to install that package as well. So UV add HTTPX. Then we also need to import some more things from LiveKit agents. We need the function tool, the run context, and the ToolError. Let's go down to our instructions and let's update these as well. So you are an upbeat, slightly sarcastic tech support, all that same stuff. Help the caller fix issues without rambling. But then we've added, you can also look up the weather if asked. So we're going to add this, this function right here. And so let's go ahead and walk through this. So the function tool decorator registers this method as a callable tool for the LLM. Then we have the context parameter, which is a run context, and this provides access to the current session, the speech handle for the interruption detection, and any custom user data that you've stored. We've got our location. Now the doc string is critical here. The LLM reads the text to understand what the tool does and when it should be called. When a user says, what is the weather in Paris? The LLM scans through all of the available tools, reads each doc string, and decides which one matches the user's intent. A vague doc string means that the LLM might not call your tool when it should, or it might call it incorrectly. The args section in the doc string is just as important. It tells the LLM what each parameter means and what values are appropriate. For location here, we are specify city name or location to get weather for. So the LLM knows to extract the city from the user's request. Without this description, the LLM might pass the wrong data or misunderstand what the parameter expects. So then here is our HTTP request, where we are calling this geocoding API from Open-Meteo. And we're going to pass in that location there. And then we will basically just return those results. So if we go back down to the bottom here, we're returning the location, the temperature, and the condition. So then the LLM will have that information to then answer our question. Now notice we do have the tool error here. So if no location is found, it will return that. And so let's go ahead and test this. Let's see if it works. So make sure that you save this. And let's open up our terminal and we'll do UV run agent and then in the console. Now we could sync this with our agent in the cloud, which we deployed in the last lesson. But for simple testing and development, we can stay here in the console. Hey, so what's the weather like in San Francisco?
Currently, it's 49.1 degrees Fahrenheit in San Francisco with clear conditions.
Cool. What about
Need help
in Tokyo?
Tokyo is chilling at 42.6 degrees Fahrenheit right now with clear skies.
Nice.
Anything else I can...
How about, what's the weather like on Mars?
Mars? I wish I had that weather report. For earthly locations, I'm your go-to AI, but Martian weather might...
All right. It looks like it works. So if we go down here, we can see that the tool did get executed. So look up weather. It passed the location there with San Francisco, and then it provided us the response there. Another really cool tool that we can use is MCP, or Model Context Protocol. This lets you connect to external tool servers. Now, this is useful when you want to share tools across multiple agents. Tools are managed, maybe they're managed by separate teams or services, or maybe you want to integrate with third-party MCP compatible systems. So let's connect to the LiveKit documentation MCP server. And so this turns our agent into a voice interface for searching LiveKit docs. So in our terminal, we'll UV add LiveKit agents MCP. And let's add another import here from LiveKit agents, and that is MCP. And then we'll connect our MCP server to our session using MCP servers. That is going to be under agent session. So let's go find that agent session. We'll add another option here under agent session, MCP servers. And then we'll set the MCP server HTTP to docs.livekit.io/MCP. And then lastly, let's go back up to our instructions and let's update these instructions to include everything. So not only are we a sarcastic tech support person, and we try not to ramble, but we can also look up the weather, and we can also answer questions about LiveKit by searching the documentation. When a user asks about LiveKit features, APIs, or how to build something, use the docs search tools to find accurate information. Amazing. So when the session starts, it connects to the MCP server and fetches a list of the available tools. Each MCP tool then has a name and a description, just like the local function tool methods. So these MCP tools are automatically registered alongside your local tools, and the LLM sees all of them together and it knows when to use them, I guess, somehow. I don't know. No. It uses the tool descriptions from the MCP server to guide the LLM on when to use each tool. So let's go ahead and test this out. Again, make sure that you have saved this, and then let's go ahead and UV run agents in the console again. Hello.
Hey there. How can I help you with Tech or LiveKit today?
Yeah, so what STT providers does LiveKit support?
LiveKit supports these speech-to-text STT providers via LiveKit Inference Cloud Service, Assembly AI English, and 6 multilingual languages: Cartesia Inc. Whisper 98 languages, DeepGram, several English and multilingual models,
Cool.
11
So how
labs.
do I add a function tool to my agent?
To add a function tool to your agent in LiveKit, you use the @function_tool decorator on a method in your agent class. This lets the
Amazing,
LLM
thank you.
access.
We can see here in the terminal, executing tool. The tool name is docs search, and speech-to-text providers is what it passed in, and so it used the tool. And then here's tool execution completed. It executed another tool, get pages, and so we can see it is using our MCP server perfectly. So now we could ask anything. We could ask for tech support. We could ask for the weather. We could ask for something LiveKit related. So let's say, what is the weather like right now in Houston?
The weather in Houston right now is around 70.4 degrees Fahrenheit, and conditions are clear. Anything else you'd like to know?
Yeah. How can I quickly start up a new LiveKit agent?
To quickly start a new LiveKit agent, your agent code first registers as an agent server process with the LiveKit server and waits for requests. When a user connects to a room, LiveKit dispatches a job request to an available agent server, which starts a new agent session process to handle the job.
Very good explanation. Thank you so much for that. We'll talk to you later. Cool. So now the agent selects the right tool for each question, and the console logs, you can search through those and see which tool is being called and with which parameters. So let's take a look at a few best practices for tools. So be specific about what the tool does and when to use it. Keep tools fast, under 2 seconds ideally, or provide user feedback during long operations. And then handle errors gracefully with the ToolError exception, and return meaningful data that helps the LLM form a good response. Now, some tools take a long time, and for those, you'll want to give the user feedback and handle potential interruptions. So to do that, what we could do in any function tool, we could add to that await context session, say, let me search for that. So we're adding that extra context. We're giving the user confirmation that we're doing something. Now, if your tool takes external actions that can't be rolled back, then we can disable interruptions at the start. For instance, if your tool creates an order and is processing a payment, well, that can't be undone. So we don't want the user to interrupt that part of the agent session. And so for that, we could go into any tool again, just like we did here with this await context say. We can do context.disallow interruptions. So that will prevent any interruptions. Once this tool is called, there could be no interruptions until the tool returns. You can also add or remove tools at runtime based on conversation state. And here's what that could look like. We could add a tool dynamically. We could remove a tool. So this is useful for progressive disclosure, where you're only showing certain tools after a user has been authenticated or reached a certain point in a workflow. So your agent can now call external APIs with function tools, connect to MCP servers for shared capabilities, and handle errors gracefully. And the LLMs automatically select the right tool based on what the user asks. In the final lesson, you're going to build production workflows for collecting consent and escalating to human agents.